Excited and happy to be here today, and thanks to Mr. Ivaldi for giving us an academic perspective and detailed research about new energies, tomorrow energies, and what's going on in the industry with calculations, with numbers, data. It was quite valuable. Mine will be about more business perspective, what airlines are doing as one of the biggest airline and the widest, has the widest network airline, Turkish Airlines, that flies to more countries any other airline in the world. What we are doing about it, and what this scale of airlines can do or should do to save the future and make airline industry greener, and what kind of actions and steps can be taken. We will talk about it today. So, as we know that for a better, greener future and aviation, there are different alternative energies. Currently, we are using kerosene, Jet A1 aircraft fuel, which produces, as also Mr. Ivaldi mentioned, that 3% of the total carbon emission in the world, which is not a high number. However, airline industry has always been on the spotlight. But at the same time, it is making life easier, making distances closer for business-wise, for social-wise. It's quite important, efficient, currently most efficient transportation way. That's why we cannot avoid from it. And but there are ways to make it with less carbon emission and also with the better future. There are technological improvements and also investments needs to be done. And as airlines, there are big responsibilities for us. We are aware of it, especially with the huge, widest network in the world and with the huge operations. We feel more responsible about it. Because if you have a title and if you are doing marketing about we are the #1 airline with the network, it brings you more responsibility. 10 years of sustainability policies at Turkish Airlines. I will talk about this kind of information to give you an understanding as one of the biggest players in Toulouse here in aviation industry. You will understand better. Considering the huge amount of carbon emission airline industry is producing, we need to, and also considering our huge operations, which we currently have 454 aircraft in our fleet, one of the biggest fleets in the world, and currently from Istanbul, that in high season, in peak season, we are operating more than 1,600 flights every day. So it's a huge operation, and that brings a lot of also carbon emission, unfortunately. However, only if you focus on only business and only profit, definitely it's profitable, and we are sharing the highest and record of profits, especially this year. Last year we made more than $4 billion of profit. However, at the same time, we are investing on sustainability and for greener future. And how we are doing it? First of all, we are investing on new generation aircrafts. And we talked about Airbus and at the same time Boeing. Recently, as you know, maybe you know, or if you don't know, I can also share with you that recently we made 355 aircrafts of order, one of the biggest order in history from Airbus. This shows that our trust and our cooperation with the Airbus, because we know Airbus is also always working and investing on research and innovation. And as Turkish Airlines, we care about it, and that's why we trusted Airbus on this big order, and we wanted to work with them. At the same time, definitely, we are working with Boeing as well for this kind of new orders to keep our fleet youngest. Currently, our fleet is one of the youngest in the world with 9.6 average age, which is one of the youngest in the world. We declare energy policy on our sustainability reports, which brings together not only business but also universities, NGOs, and local governments, and also our employees, because we know it's a compact policy, it's a compact like regulation we can do, and we cannot achieve it only ourselves. We need other players in the market to come together and move together and achieve it for the tomorrow and for the future. Also, that apart from our own operations and like aviation, like passenger and cargo side, we also have 20 different affiliates, which is sub-companies, which we are designing our own internal cabin systems, cabin materials, which also quite important for efficiency and for fuel reduction of carbon emission, because as soon as you make it more light, more strong, it affects the consumption of the fuel, and at the same time definitely experience and satisfaction of the passengers. And currently we know, before maybe when aviation industry and airline industry was improving and started in the beginning of 1930s, 40s, the idea was only traveling from point A to point B, but currently it's actually a package and it's a compact experience, starting from like buying your ticket or booking your ticket from your home, from your phone, either travel agency, and also coming to the airport and also taking your flight and arriving, and also your baggage, and also there are different like impacts and complex effects in this experience. And also, as Turkish Airlines, that we are currently to balance, as also Mr. Ivaldi mentioned, that like in the scope of CORSIA, which gives opportunity to offset your carbon emission effect as a passenger, we are using our carbon emission policy, which we have a website for it. After your flight, as I said, it's a whole experience. Even after your flight, through our website that we specifically created for this offsetting carbon emission rate, that you can calculate where did you fly from which city to which city, and how much carbon emission you produced as a individual, and how you can offset it. We have projects about it, including in Africa, in Brazil, in Turkey as well, to create green areas, to increase plantation, and also support some wind projects that produces electricity, clean and renewable and sustainable energy. To balance the emission of our carbon dioxide amount, what we are doing, we said that we are investing in new generation aircrafts, and in this 10 years projection between 2023, which we declared last year, until 2033, we are targeting to reach to 90% of our fleet will be with new generation aircrafts, which reduces up to 20% less carbon, which also supports sustainability. Apart from that, IATA also has a net zero emission projection until 2050, and we follow and also support that, and at the same time we are creating our policies and our targets with it, also including with the Paris Agreement, which to reduce 1.5 centigrade degree in the global warming atmosphere, global warming situation. We are also in this perspective. We started using SAF since it started 2nd of February in 2022 with actually in Paris in France with Paris flight, and currently we are flying to 12 destinations and we are using SAF. Except Nice in France, we are flying to 7 destinations currently, and 6 of them, including Toulouse and Bordeaux, we are using SAF. It's currently mandatory in France, 1%. In 2022 and 23 it was 1%, and this year it has become 1.5%. So each year, the more sustainable aviation fuel is available, the more investment and the more availability is possible to this new fuel, new type of fuel, which reduces 80% of carbon emission. That is quite incredible and quite useful for the environment. Many countries are taking steps to use it more. Sweden, Norway is also one of them. Belgium, we are using for Brussels flight as well. And Brazil declared that. Singapore started. So many countries is doing it more. And definitely it's also about the standards of the country as well. So not every country is doing it, unfortunately. Before, I used to work in Africa for 6.5 years. Unfortunately, because of lack of enough infrastructure, lack of enough standardization or investments in the countries, although they have many resources, many richness. However, because of there isn't policies about it, we cannot see in underdeveloped countries this kind of policies. It's mostly for with the better standard countries we can see. However, we believe that until 2050, with the IATA's projection as well, it will be increased. And apart from that, what we are doing, it is not only the aircrafts. We believe that it should be also any project, anything, any operations we are doing. We need to think about the energy consumption and tomorrow's as well. That's why we are also doing some operational improvements, which digitalisation is one of them. And also we stopped using papers on our internal correspondances. Now, since last 10 years, we are only using digital letters, digital communication of tons of carbon emission at the same time. And apart from that, in our buildings, currently we have 9 different buildings in our management sites in Istanbul that has LEED certificate. What is LEED certificate? Is leadership, environmental and energy design, which is a certification program that is given to the buildings that created with these standards, which with a low energy consumption and with a better and greener conditions. 2008, we improved, and more than 100 operational optimization projects we have done, and only in 2022 we saved 58,000 tons of fuel, and we offsetted 6,700 tons of carbon dioxide, and also prevented 181,000 tons of carbon dioxide with our projects and new generation policies. And currently, also apart from Europe flights, we are using in Istanbul, Izmir. Izmir is the 3rd biggest city in Turkey. Istanbul, Izmir flights, we are using SAF at the same time, not only Europe but also our domestic flights, which shows that as a big operations airlines, what can they do for the greener future, what can they do for tomorrow. This is a good example, and these are our practices I wanted to share with you. Apart from that, we have some projects with Boeing and Istanbul Technical University, which is name of the Turkey Sustainable Aviation Platform. We are one of the co-founding signatories for this project. and also another project with Airbus and Rolls-Royce, which called the Global SAF Declaration. We are also part of it, and we are applying to our operations all these like new policies to reduce the emission and also to create better future and greener future for the new generations. Some obstacles, there are some, like as also Marco Vivaldi mentioned, that some preventions on self-usage because the high costs, because of the availability, and we believe with more investment, with more awareness, and with also more policies by the governments, it will be common, and it will give us to reach out to our 2050 targets. This is in general I wanted to share with you, and hope that other airlines also will be doing it, especially the low-cost ones like Ryanair, EasyJet, which has like many flights daily, and also other international ones that if they can also do some leading projects like this, and also it can be a good example for other airlines to us as well. We will be happy to apply it. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'm quite happy. I hope it was enjoying.